In August and September of 2024, my wife Rhoda and I had the extreme pleasure of staying in Kalispell, Montana, just west of Glacier National Park for 7 weeks. This gave us a lot of time to spend in the area. Even before we went, we knew that there was a permit requirement at Glacier specifically, maybe some others, by the National Park Service. Their website talks about it and even goes into detail. Even despite all this detail, and if you read everything you can find, there's still quite a bit of confusion, even among big-name YouTubers, about what is and is not acceptable. So I sent an email to the Glacier National Park people, and they said basically if you're not currently generating revenue, no need for that license. And if you were possibly generating revenue in the future, that content is still okay, but you would need the license for future content gathering in order to be in compliance. So with that out of the way, I wanted to share kind of the overview of the lay of the land. I always appreciate when I'm trying to learn about a new place we're going, if someone tries to explain kind of the layout, because looking at the maps, it can be really difficult to understand where you're going to be, where you're going to go, what those distances look like, the options for how to get around and stuff like that. So like when I see the map in the screen shown here, I can see Whitefish, I can see Columbia Falls. The little blue dot is where we were in Kalispell in the bottom left-hand corner. I see Lake McDonald, I see St. Mary, but I don't really know the lay of the land or how to get around or any of that. So I hope to make that a little easier for you if you continue to watch this video. The dark blue line here is showing the Going to the Sun Road, which is the road through Glacier National Park. This starts at Apgar Visitor Center on the west side and goes to St. Mary Visitor Center on the east side. And really this line actually goes on up to the Mini Glacier Hotel, which is another 21 miles past St. Mary. So that is another very popular area to go visit up at Mini Glacier. But stopping at St. Mary would be that classic route through Glacier National Park. It takes about 2 hours to drive across Going to the Sun Road without any stops. But of course you're going to stop a lot because there are many, many, many gorgeous views to get out and see. Another area of Glacier you would want to visit is called Two Medicine. This blue line on the map here indicates how to drive there, coming in from the west side at the Apgar Village Lodge and entrance, down Highway 2, across and over to Two Medicine. It takes about an hour and a half to make this drive. On the blue line that you see, it shows an hour 21 there. And I would give a fair warning, there are very few bathrooms on this route. Unlike Going to the Sun Road, there are primitive bathrooms very frequently along that route. And with this view, you can see the darker blue line representing Going to the Sun Road, which is the absolutely most beautiful drive you can imagine. And then the southern route being Highway 2. It's pretty, but it's not as breathtaking as Going to the Sun Road. Another thing to be aware of if you're going to Glacier is that they began a new pilot program a year or two ago where you have to buy a vehicle reservation if you're going to drive on the Going to the Sun Road, North Fork, or Mini Glacier. This is only for a certain time frame, starting May 24th this year, ending September 8th for 2 of the roads, and then July 1st, starting for the Mini Glacier Road. It's only like $2, but you have to buy these 4 months in advance if you want to lock in your date. Otherwise, they also put a few, I think I heard 1,200 on sale the night before, each day at 7 p.m. And if you're super lucky, you can get one then. Some people have said I had no problem getting one every single time. Some people said I never could get one. So I'm not sure if that's just how fast they are or how good their internet was. But this is something you have to have in addition to your park pass in order to, and you can hear baby in the background, she's sad about this too. But you have to have this reservation in addition to your park pass or you can't drive down these roads. It's only during this time frame. For Going to the Sun, it's only when you're coming in from the west side, not from the east. And it's only from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., give or take. That's what they posted as, 6 a.m. We went in at 6:45. Our first 2 days, there was nobody at the ranger station at all, and there was nobody at the checkpoint for the vehicle reservation check-in either. I would just recommend before you go to do a web search for Glacier vehicle reservation. Read the details provided under the booking windows page and see what it is for the year that you're going. At the top of the website for the vehicle registration stuff, they have this nice graphic kind of spelling things out. It shows the 3 roads listed here clearly One is going to the Sun Road if you're coming in from the west, but not from the east, which is the St. Mary entrance as indicated here. The North Fork Road, which I'll talk about briefly because I haven't discussed it yet, and the Mini Glacier Road, which is a really short little piece up there after you leave St. Mary and go north a little ways and then go west again. You head to the Mini Glacier Hotel down this terrible, terrible dirt road full of potholes that'll tear your car up. You have to have a vehicle reservation pass to get down that road as well during that time of season. Again, the vehicle reservation is not a park pass into the park. You have to have a national park pass, and you have to have the vehicle registration if you're going to drive on these roads in those directions during these dates during that time of day. We had discussed going to the North Fork Road and the Pole Bridge area, but I saw something else on the National Park Service. This page that I'm showing here says only vehicles with high clearance, 12-ply rated tires or higher should visit this. Another page I found, which I can't find right now, said only come if you have a spare tire and the ability to change a tire because the road's that bad. And we heard while we were there it's not that bad. And in fact, our time going to Mini Glacier proved that Mini Glacier was significantly terrible. And people who went to both said Mini Glacier was worse than the trip to Pole Bridge. So if we could make it to Mini Glacier, we could make it there. This map shows you where the North Fork Road is and the trip to Pole Bridge. You can see on this map where Kalispell is, where Columbia Falls is, where Apgar is, and where Lake McDonald is. And you can see that Pole Bridge is northwest of Apgar and Lake McDonald. We did not make the trip. Maybe we should have. But the scary roads scared us out of it, and we were busy doing other things anyway, so we just didn't make it. Alright, if you hung on through the educational part of the video, now we're up to the pretty pictures, so get ready for the good stuff. And if you hang on to the very end, we will share where we like to hang out on most Sunday afternoons and share pictures there. Possibly one of the well-known, most popular things about the area is the colorful rocks. This is unedited. This is no filters or anything. When they're wet, they really pop like this. We noticed, though, that it wasn't just the pretty rocks at Lake McDonald and inside Glacier, but the little tiny rocks inside the Walmart parking lot pavement or the stones in the gravel at our RV site were all this color. So it's the entire area, but it really stands out in the park. And Rhoda really has a great eye for great photography. She caught this angle of the rocks pointing out towards seeing the mountains in the background and catching that little splash of water. But again, this is unedited, this is unfiltered, this is just a raw photograph. And I really wish we were better at keeping track of where we took pictures and videos when we're out and about. Maybe we'll get better one of these days. But mostly all these pretty pictures are going to be kind of random, and I won't be able to explain where we took them or what they're of. So I just hope you can enjoy the beauty of Glacier National Park and all the parts and pieces that we saw while we were there. We're going to show you the scenery first, and then some cool animal pictures and videos we got at the end. And at the very end, we're going to show our very favorite space to hang out that we went to multiple Sunday afternoons just to chill and relax. This is the parking lot at Logan Pass, which is a little bit east of the midpoint of Going to the Sun Road. It is full by 6:30 in the morning most days. There are tons of epic hikes that you take from here. And if you don't get here early, you don't get a spot. But we did learn if you show up later and you just circle for a while, the parking lot is busy with other people circling. But we got lucky 5 or 6 times doing this in different locations and finding a spot within 10 minutes or less. So you can go later and probably get a spot, but going really early is what a lot of people do to assure a parking space here. Behind the Logan Pass Visitor Center is a trail out to other trails, and they had actually built a boardwalk to enable an easy path as you got past some of this uneven ground here. It was freshly replaced. They were replacing it one of the previous visits we made here. I went ahead and took a picture to include showing the pile of debris off to the side, indicating the work that they had been doing. This is really a nice trail, super popular, and it's why that parking lot gets jammed up so early. I saved the most ferocious and sweetest animal for last. This is our kitty Baby. She is 17 years old. She doesn't really act or look 17, but she is a healthy 17-year-old female Aussie cat. She is a gray or a blue or whatever color. I love this video of her catching this fly on the floor, and it cracks me up if you watch how aggressively she chews that thing while she eats it. Just cracks me up. And now for the big reveal. Our favorite spot to go spend Sunday afternoon was here at Lake McDonald. I wanted to show you 3 different map screenshots to kind of get tighter and tighter. We could park really close and walk just a minute or less even to get to the spot on the beach that typically there were a few other people, but not a lot. So I'll go ahead and indicate here exactly where we sat here to the right of this little dock. We'd set up our chairs here and then just enjoy the views. So let's see what we saw. There's our chair, and we would sit for 4 or 5 or 6 hours. Rhoda would crochet, I would read a book. Intermittent internet access kept us focused on the task at hand. There's the view of where we walk up from, seeing where we sit there and getting set up. Very peaceful, mostly quiet. Occasionally we saw other people, but we just sat here and really just enjoyed the view out there and the still water in front of us. It's hard to beat views like this, and to come and sit here really at no charge. We did this as many times as we could, usually on a Sunday afternoon after church. It wasn't always super peaceful. Sometimes we saw other crowds of people there. There would be a few people, but one particular Sunday we had kind of the perfect storm of others coming around us. This group of 24 young ladies brought pizza, had a pizza party, and then they all got in the water and took a group picture in their swimsuits together. This couple was doing engagement photos here. That was very, very sweet. We saw this guy in snorkeling gear. He waded into the water backwards and then came back out backwards, but he swam for like an hour or more. He was gone, just going straight out across the way. And then that same day, all these things plus these 4 horses came riding past us, so that was kind of cool. And then nearby there is multiple ice cream shop options. This is huckleberry ice cream, which is super popular in the area with all the huckleberries. So we would get ice cream and treat ourselves there. And then back at home where we stayed, this is our backyard, just behind the fence behind our rig. It's not like super stunning, but that's not a terrible view. There was wildlife, of course. There were deer that would come. We'd see them at night and during the day. There was a line of apple trees right behind us, and the longer we were there, the more they came and would eat apples straight off the tree. Rhoda would hear them out her window because her window was right next to this tree. And they weren't super skittish. If you stood real still, you could get, within 15 or 20 yards maybe. They'd check you out while they decided how much threat you were before they would run off or whatever. But we would see this mama and 2 of her babies most days probably. And they could just step right through this fence, and the fence was nothing. It was 2 or 3 strips of barbed wire that they could step right through the middle of it or probably jump over just as easily. But we caught a few videos because who doesn't love to watch a deer? We hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.